Hello and welcome back to Crypt. Oh my God, the market is dumping. It's a bloody, bloody Friday. But is there anything we can learn from this? Let's dive in. Boom. I'm not gonna lie, the kickoff of this entire selling event has felt sus. I'm not alone on this topic. A lot of people say, hey, something smells foul. We saw this horrible liquidation event occur on Binance with even Wintermute CEO Evgeny, one of the largest market makers, talking about how liquidations that shouldn't have happened. And of course, if the big boys are feeling pain, well, there's gonna be some bodies floating somewhere. So this take from Front Runners X, this Bitcoin seller on Binance is starting to look less like random flow and more like a single entity or tightly coordinated group. For 2 weeks straight, they've hit the sell button at exactly 9:30 EST, every US market open without fail. That kind of consistency usually points to a sophisticated actor operating under specific mandates or time windows. No way to know how deep their bags go. And we move further into this with the team from Nillion coming out and saying, if you were surprised by yesterday's price action regarding their own token NAL, our team was entirely confused until we realized what happened. A market maker sold NIL tokens without legal authorization from our association. And Apewood points out here, whoever this MM is, it smells like one of the dead bodies. So there are some points that are starting to come together to create this image of one of the larger market makers that backed a lot of tokens, that probably traded a lot of arbitrage opportunities on Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., going bankrupt and just basically doing a massive sale in order to recoup cash. Now, as we look at the price and we try to figure out what the hell's going on, it is useful to get some historical context. So Dan, who's been a long-time man at the space and from Masari Crypto, a data firm, says BTC has probably had dozens of worse sell-offs. This one has been around 37% down so far. We've had minus 50 intraday before. That was March 2020. And we've had 5 drawdowns of more than 75%. The obits have always been stupid, even back in 11 when they first started to appear. I move on to Kaleo, another longtime trader that I've followed for so many years. It says, rough morning with the bloodbath across crypto. The one positive I can find looking at the comparison of equities versus early in the 2020 COVID crash recovery, price actions nearly identical with a large sell-off shortly after making new all-time highs. There was plenty of FUD talking about how overextended the market was and we were due for a real crash, yet the market bounced and resumed its historic run to all-time highs a few months later. And he's looking at this peak right here into this trough saying, oh my God, it's so over. Looking at it here again. And of course, as we pull back out, it was really halfway to the top. So all of these are adding some bullish vibes into understanding just what the hell's going on. Now, Crypto Rand, another active trader and market participant, again, that I followed for years. I'm only pulling up people that I've seen tested over time. The last few months have been brutal. Bitcoin pullbacks, alts nuked, sentiment crushed. But if you've been around the block before, you'll recognize the pattern instantly. We've seen this type of correction every single cycle. This isn't the end of crypto. Don't lose focus. So that is, again, yet another bullish take that time and time again, we've seen similar activities. So just calm down. If you have some cash on the side, maybe this is a great time to buy in. Milk Road, the data provider, reminder, we're still in a short-term bear market. Bitcoin's now down 34.75% from its previous peak, which is still below the average 36% drop that we typically see in short-term bears. These pullbacks are part of crypto's DNA. The people who can stomach these dips are the ones that come out wealthier on the other side. Stay patient, stick to the plan. And I gotta say, in regards to the people that can weather these dips, we're seeing a lot of the retail ETFs selling at a loss. And that is just such a bummer because we were just at all-time highs, which means that every Bitcoin purchaser in history was in the green. All you gotta do is hold for the long term. If you're getting shaken out in these dips a few months or even weeks after all-time high, I mean, that's a really terrible trade, and I feel bad for you. Ryan Rasmussen, head of research at Bitwise Invest. I mean, this is a big TradFi desk. And he says Bitcoin has survived significantly worse drawdowns before. Bitcoin 2014 fell 58%. 2018 fell 74%. 2022 fell 64%. 2025, Bitcoin is down 10% year to date and 33% from its all-time high, saying, guys, chill the fuck out. We're okay. This is a situation for long time buy and hold, and you better believe that the institutions that are looking at this as a multi-decade investment, well, they're finally saying, hey, maybe this price is coming into our buy zone. So to give a little bullishness, Batman, who I've quoted before, I also followed for many years, if there's a best place for Bitcoin to rebound, it's here. Bitcoin's retesting its major neckline, a level that's been relevant since the 2020 cycle. It has formed a cluster of key tops and bottoms over the past 5 years. So this zone carries weight. And if we just want to look at it, we can see it being a top, and then we cross into a bull market, and we have a bottom, and who knows, potentially another bottom. But again, people are starting to come out and openly admit that they're buying Bitcoin, that it's hitting a price zone where maybe they save a little cash for an even deeper dip. But like, if you're going to enter, this is just not a bad place. And lastly, Martin from CryptoQuant.com says a large cluster of USC inflows hit exchanges in the past few hours. This is yesterday, typically a sign of fresh capital entering the market. And let's just look at these green spikes, right? And this just goes to show we have less stablecoins following the October 10th event, and around October 24th, we're still flirting with $115,000. But as the price is coming down, we're just seeing massive volume of stables come in. And remember, stables are only proliferating. There's more stables being minted every day, and stables are on chain. So that means they have easy access and flow into Bitcoin. It's not a guarantee that they're using this to buy. There is an entire thesis around stablecoins that is independent, but it is bullish. Again, they're playing in the same turf, the digital sphere. And of course, if you want to check this chart out, it is in the sources. So this is keeping it up to date. But look, September 15th, we're seeing 156 million coming into play. Still 298 million exchange inflow in USDC on November 21st today. So this is up to date real time. And this is a great resource if you want a little bit of hopium to inject into your veins. That being said, it does look like that October 10th event has some sort of contagion. It's got to come out, and somebody died. We will wait for the dead bodies to float. It's very hard to see who is actually the victim of these events until their partners really try to recoup some capital from cooperation agreements or something, and it all turns up bunk. But we've seen that there is a consistent catalyst around October 10th. We've seen that these events, these sell-offs, are consistent time and time again, cycle and cycle again, and that there is a reason to say, hey, this isn't the end. Maybe I should go long. Maybe I should scrounge up a few pennies and actually seek to buy, rather than obviously the I wish I sold mentality that everybody holds on to. With that being said, we're about to go into a weekend. We'll see what the price action looks like. We have been recovering on the weekends, which only supports the thesis that it is a US market time seller that is doing this flight. Of course, those could be ETF sellers. Those could be a lot of retail that came in on the march to 125K, and sadly, they're just going to take that loss. I hate to see it. All you got to do is hold on for a while, at least one cycle, and you're basically guaranteed to be in profit. For all of these reasons, don't overlever. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Give me a like and a sub because I appreciate it so much, and I'll see you next week.